As I am recording this podcast and with its release in mid-July, we currently have a president of the United States that is 80 years old, Joe Biden. My purpose in saying that is not to start a political debate, but just simply a reminder that the leader of the free nation, the leader of the free world, I should say, is 80 years old. We're seeing more and more leaders in positions at ages that we never, ever would have thought would take place. What is going on? Well, I'm not going to address the presidential issue. I'm not going to get into politics other than state what everybody knows, that President Biden is 80 years old. But I am going to talk about a demographic reality. We are having more and more people continue to have lives that are vibrant for the most part in their 80s and even their 90s. What is the implication for the church? We'll address that in just a few moments. As always, thank you for being a part of the Church Answers podcast, and thank you, Belay, for being the sponsor of the Church Answers podcast. And thank you for providing the type of people who work with churches, nonprofits, businesses, and providing these virtual employees to be a team member of your organization. If you're a pastor, let someone else do the work that you're trying to do, the emails, keep up with all the phone calls, all of those things that you know are important, but you know someone else can do while you focus on the aspect of ministry. Just think about how Belay can help you. I'm a living testimony. I go way back many, many years to the first time that we brought someone from Belay onto our organization. Check them out. You will not be disappointed. And download the resource that I've been mentioning to you. 25 tasks a pastor can delegate to an assistant. It's available at belaysolutions.com/Tom Rainer, or you can see it in the show notes. Wow. Someone 80 or 90 in your church, and it's going to become more and more common. The demographics are a reality. The demographics are telling us that this is the story. And if President Biden is just one of the manifestations of it, we're going to see repeated manifestations of this again and again and again. We've heard many times that the 65-year-old retiree is no longer considered a senior adult. In fact, baby boomers born between 1946 and 1964 don't even like to be referred to as senior adults. I don't mind. I was born in 1955. Call me whatever you want to. But many people do not even want to be in that category. And so there's this demographic reality. And what is happening is the baby boomer population, again, born between 1946 and 1964, one author referred to them as the pig and the python. And what that basically means is, if you look at the python, it's this long straight line. There's this pig that's passing through its digestive system, and it's this big lump in the python. I know it's probably not the best metaphor, but that was a metaphor used in the book about a book about the boomers, and that's what the boomers are. That there's a big population of 76 million live births, and as they pass through at different ages, they're making this profound impact, and they have a profound effect upon the world. The United States in particular, organizations, marketing, etc. But now it won't be that long before we'll start seeing the younger end of the baby boomers start moving into their 80s. And when that happens, you're going to have more and more baby boomers in the 80s and 90s. Now, you may have some in the preceding generation, the builders, those born before 1946 already. So we want to just, first of all, give you that demographic reality. There is the likelihood, the high possibility that you are going to be an older congregation just because you're going to have older people active in your church that either were deceased or in nursing homes or some type of care facilities, but now they're going to be active in the church. And what does this mean? This means that we have a whole new senior adult ministry. And once again, with the caution that there are a lot of boomers that don't like to be called senior adults. And so we're coming up with a lot of cute alternative names, none which have been adopted fully. And so you have this new senior adult ministry. Again, I'm describing it. I'm not defining its name, but this new senior adult ministry, And as it begins to grow, that is going to be the new ministry for the oldest age group within your church. What will it look like? For the builders, it was slowing down. It was having ministries where you get a bus and take them on to different types of places to enjoy. That's going to change. And you have one of two choices with these older adults. If they stick around with the church, you can get them involved or you can see them leave. They're not just going to hang around. They're going to go on vacation, go see grandkids and great grandkids more often. If you don't get them involved, they're going to go away. So one of the things that you need to start thinking about, and this is, if the first point is it's a demographic reality, and the second point is this is the new senior adult group, the third thing that you need to hear on this is you need to start thinking about what ministry looks like for this 80 and 90-year-old. Not what ministry looks like to them, but what ministry looks like coming from them. What ministry opportunities can you begin to unpack for them? And yeah, prayer ministry is always a good one. We always use prayer ministry, particularly of those who have physical limitations. We get that, but I would not limit your thinking just to prayer ministries. As a matter of fact, I would even consider bringing some of your younger builders and older boomers together and say, what do you want to do in the church in the future? What does the church need, and how can you contribute to it? It's an amazing phenomenon that is taking place. I have been in the middle of the baby boom, born in 1955, and if you look at 1946 to 1964 as the younger and the older and younger ends of this, and I've been right in the middle, I have seen the baby boomers create questions wherever they go. I was a part of the baby boomer generation in the 60s when it was the Woodstock generation, and I've seen them pass through to become the helicopter generation, looking over our children. And it's just one thing after another. Now we are getting toward the end of life. We're getting toward the older age, and we're coming into churches. And the question is, what is the church going to do with us old folks? How are you going to respond? There are a lot of implications there. If you're not thinking about it now, you should be thinking about it shortly. All right, this is the Church Answers Podcast. Thank you. Give us a rating and review if your favorite podcast app. That's not just something I have in my notes. I don't even have that at all. It's something I respectfully request of you to get the word out about this free ministry that we offer. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can give us a review. You can subscribe. So do that as well. Just get the word out about the Church Answers Podcast. And as always, we want to thank Belay, our sponsor, our founding sponsor, our only sponsor. And they are the ones that are making this possible for you to have this ministry 3 times a week. Remember, 2 other podcasts have already been released this week. Go and listen to them, or if you're on YouTube, go and watch them. Thank you, as always, for being a part of the Church Answers Podcast. I look forward to seeing you every week with 3 new episodes. See you later. Hey, folks, this is a PS to our podcast. We got some exciting stuff that we want to offer you absolutely for free. Sam, when you think about predictive factors in a church's growth, if you take out demographics, what are some things that come to mind? Just 2. I mean, don't give me a list of 10. Just 2 or 3 things that come to mind on predictive growth of a church.
Well, evangelism and whether the church is doing it or not.
Bingo.
And then I will add, is it an ongoing evangelism emphasis?
Double bingo. Well. And maybe something about leadership and their commitment to that. So all of the above.
Evangelistic churches have evangelistic pastors. Is the staff, is the lead pastor doing the work themselves?
We have a free download for you, and it's actually a sheet that you can self-score. You answer 20 questions, anywhere from strongly disagree to strongly agree, and we come back and we predict what your growth rate is going to be for the next year in worship attendance. It's not a perfect tool, but it's a good tool. There's a link to that for the attendance predictor. Look in the show notes. You'll absolutely love it. That's cool. We'll see you soon.